Hello, this is Elliott from Little Punk People. Right now, I just came back from the concert and the interview from the Ghost. And Ghost, the whole tour band, signed my record, which is pretty cool. And also, just wanted to let you know, enjoy the interview, as well as I'm going to enjoy this record. So, see you later. Okay, this is Elliott from Little Punk People. Right now we're interviewing one of the Nameless Ghouls from Ghost. Okay, so here we go. Your music is amazing. Did you start writing your next record yet?
Yes, thank you, by the way. Thank you very much. We have always written music as we tour, simultaneously to touring. Some bands don't do that. They like to tour first and then be home and make music, and then they record that and they go on tour again. Whereas we do it a little bit, we mix it in between. So right now, just because we have had this record out for so long, it was a year ago, we have already started writing a lot of the material that we are supposed to record now in the fall. After we've done touring this summer, we just go straight into the studio to record another album.
Who do you think is more evil, Papa or Darth Vader?
Oh, that's hardcore. In my world, Darth Vader and Papa is very similar. They're very the same sort of bad guy. That is basically something good that has turned evil. That is basically what Papa is about. Papa is like Darth Vader, something that started as something pure and nice, and because of how the world has treated the person, it turned bad. And if you know the whole story about Darth Vader, you know that he's not entirely bad. There's good in him, and I think that is part of the paradox which we are trying to paint a picture of with our band. It's, again, the fantasy and the real me. The fantasy is it's all bad, it's all evil, it's all darkness and horror. But the grain, the actual meaning is that there is something in the world that creates that evil. So to answer your question, I think Darth Vader is a little bit cooler than Papa.
Would it be possible for me to join your band as a nameless ghoul when I get older?
Absolutely. Do you play an instrument?
No.
No. Well, nobody's perfect. You can be a.
Elliott, you play the recorder.
But that's good. You might need that in the future. You're in. You're hired.
How did you like meeting Ace from Kiss at Texas right there? Was he cool?
Yes, of course he was. It was cool meeting him. I have been a fan of him ever since I was 3 years old. So, yes, it's always cool to meet old heroes like that. But it's especially when you go to convents and signing sessions. It's never, you know, how you might at one point have imagined meeting your hero, because it's very like you stand in line. Oh, we didn't stand in line, but we quickly came in the room and was like, hi, and you do this, and then you're out. So it's a very quick thing. You don't necessarily sit down and talk a lot. It's just a quick signing photo op, as they call it. Photo opportunity.
Okay. Are any of the goals girls?
I'd like to say yes. As of right now, we don't have any girl ghouls. But should never say never.
How cool do you think it would be to play a concert in hell?
That would probably be very close to what we are doing right now sometimes. It's very hot on stage. Yeah, well, as opposed to playing in heaven, when you know about all the rules about who's going to hell, who's going to heaven, hell is where all the people go. So that's where the party is. Nobody's going to heaven. Nobody qualifies. So it would probably be like playing here. Fun.
Quick question.
Yes.
What made you decide to cover the Depeche Mode songs?
Because first of all, the song itself was so weird in its original. So there was a lot of body to explore. And the lyrical theme definitely fits our band.
What's your favorite metal band and your favorite heavy band?
Ooh, I like a lot of things. My favorite metal band is probably Metallica. I would say, yeah, that's probably the band that I would choose first to listen to. If I want to choose a heavy record, I would probably choose something for them. But I like a lot of bands that did maybe just one record that was around for a long time ago, and then it's hard to sort of say that, oh, this is my favorite band, because it's, in order to have a favorite band, it needs to be a band that has done many records and that you can really go head first into a wall listening to. And my other favorite band, I love Pink Floyd, but Rolling Stones is actually one of my absolute favorite bands.
Awesome.
Certain era.
What do you think would happen to New York City if Papa became the mayor?
Well, Major Giuliani did a fantastic work, so it'd probably go that direction, but I hate to say it, but legalize.
Hey, no, you can say it.
You'll know in the future what I'm talking about.
What would you do if the Pope came to your concert?
Well, I mean, there's not much to do. I would congratulate his advisors for being smart. No, I don't know. I mean, sometimes when you're in a band that plays, sometimes you do very small shows, and sometimes you do very big shows with a lot of people, and there are famous people coming to some shows, and there are actors and even politicians, and you learn to handle that very calmly. Obviously, the Pope is, especially just because it would be our band, it would be a big deal. But I don't think that we would do more than a few handshakes and maybe talk over a thing or two.
Can you tell me what your song Zombie Queen is all about. I love that song.
Oh, you do? Oh, thank you. It's about the Zombie Queen. It's about, almost all our songs are about one fantasy thing and one real thing. So the fantasy is supposed to be what we are. Do you know what a literal meaning is? When something is, it's supposed to sound like we're talking about a corpse coming out of the ground, being a zombie royal queen. So that's the literal meaning. That's the fantasy. But the underlying meaning is about nostalgia, and nostalgia is when you long for something that was in the past. And sometimes when you have a memory of something that happened in the past, your mind turns it into something that it maybe wasn't. You remember that time when you went to the zoo and when you went to the Tivoli, but just because your mind plays a little trick on you, you remember that as something greater than it possibly was. Do you understand what I mean? That's a little bit about what that song is about. It's about turning something that's not there anymore into something greater than it maybe was. You'll know what I'm talking about in the future. You will have a lot of nostalgic feelings.
What do you like to do when you have free time on your tour?
I am obsessed with records. Old, big LP records. That's my absolute favorite thing to go look for. I look a lot for used records. And that is a full-time hobby.
What are your favorite horror movies?
I like The Omen. Have you seen those? There's one film called The Omen, and then there's two more films in that series. So the Omen trilogy, kind of like the Star Wars trilogy. And now I'm confusing you because it turned out to be 6 films, but it's only the 3 later ones that count. It's just the 4, 5, and 6 that's Star Wars. But the Omen trilogy, when you're allowed, that's a good start. See those films.
Thank you for the great music and for this interview. I'm looking forward to burning in hell during your show.
Oh, you will, son. Thank you very, very much. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Thanks. When you're a grown-up and you're not meant to play anymore, you're meant to go to work and you're meant to be a grown-up person with responsibility, that's probably the best situation you can have, because I'm working with what I love to do, and I've always loved to do music and records and all that. So I feel blessed in that sense to be able to do that.